Hello again, everybody. I just thought I'd do an update today, and I've got an interesting little sort of experiment to show you at the end. But first of all, just a basic May update for how they're getting on. I find May is a good month. I've often done May updates because by May, normally, all sort of residual traces of hibernation are over and your ants are back in normal development mode. So what I mean by that, mine have done this, that the larvae that came through hibernation have all turned to pupa, and all those pupa have closed. So at the current moment in time, I have got one pupa. I'll show you that as part of the footage. But yeah, the pupa have all gone. So I showed that enormous pile of eggs about a month ago that the queen had laid. They're still an enormous pile of eggs, except these aren't the same eggs that I showed you a month ago. But yes, she's still churning out eggs at a really nice rate, and there's a big pile of eggs, as you can see. But that big pile of eggs that I showed a month ago, or whatever it was now, they've all turned into larvae. So there are larvae, a lot of larvae in the, let's call them the old nest and the new nest. So in the old nest, there are pretty much larvae in every chamber. On the one half where the queen lives, that's got larvae in every chamber, and it's a lot of larvae as you're looking at some of those pictures here now. Most of the floor is covered with larvae. In the other half of that old nest, there are some chambers that don't have much larvae, and they just seem to have the largest of larvae. And in one of the chambers up the opposite corner to the corner where the queen lives is where I found the pupa factory, which is here. And there are just starting some of the biggest of this. This will be brand new eggs that were laid this year, have now reached large larvae stage and are just pupating now. And as I said, I found this one naked pupa. It was the only pupa I could find, and it's in the chamber just across from the pupa factory piles of sand. So I suspect it pupated before they could stick it in the sand or something. In the new nest, there are a load of ants, but a lot less larvae. Not every bit of floor space is covered with larvae. There are a few dotted small piles here and there, which I'm showing now, but it's not like a carpet, as in the old nest. But yeah, this is all stuff that's happened since hibernation. The eggs, these larvae, that first pupa, and in what, a week or 2 weeks time, there'll be a load of pupa, and I'll be back into full, having all three stages of development going simultaneously. And as you can see, they're very happy. I've got loads of ants. They're not filling, they've spread out nicely over the two nests. I've shown some pictures of that before, once they came out of hibernation, but they've spread out nicely over the two nests. But there's a definite bias to the old nest is sort of more popular for brood, and the new nest just seems to have mostly a lot of ants just hanging around in it. But there's still some chambers in that new nest that are not devoid of ants, but have got only a very few in there. So they've got some growth areas. They can grow in these two nests and not be too squashed. I think they won't need anything more for the rest of this year. It should be fine. Anyway, on to something different. I ordered something from Wakooshi, which I will probably talk about in a later video. I do actually need to do a new video on formicariums. I'm thinking about. I'm sort of planning it in my head. But anyway, in the order, he put one of the bottles of this stuff, FormiPure ant nectar. Now, for a disclaimer for everyone, because I'm always very open and honest about these things on my channel, I didn't order this. It turned up anyway. It was in with the stuff that I did order. I am fairly sure that Wakooshi knows. I mean, he knows about basic ants, but I'm fairly sure he knows, because when I order from him using my own name and my own credit card, I'm not talking to him as basic ants. I'm talking to him in my own name. I'm fairly sure he's put two and two together, and he knows who basic ants is. So he might have put it in because it's for me, and hoped I talked about it. I don't know, but just to say, I did get it for free, but I never asked for it, and he never said, "Oh, I'm sending you this for free." It was just in there. So anyway, let's have a look what the website says about this FormiPure. So FormiPure Ant Nectar is a concentrated but ready-to-use sugar blend formula crafted to provide energy for your beloved sugar-loving ants. Now, Lasius are very much a sugar-loving species. I've noticed Lasius probably eat in the ratio of 5 to 1 sugar to protein. Sugar's their main diet. Protein, yes, they need protein, they need it to grow, but they love their sugars. The concentrated formula allows you to use much less than the traditional sugar solutions and can be diluted if necessary. I don't like diluting because then stuff can start to ferment, but this can be used pure, so good. Carefully formulated with a blend of fructose, glucose and sugar syrups. So yeah, this is another thing. Sugar isn't just sugar. Sugar comes in different forms, fructose, glucose, sucrose, and there is going to be a combinations of sugars that Lasius prefer. The aphids are producing the perfect combination when they produce honeydew. That's why they go mad for honeydew. So, a couple of days ago on Saturday, they hadn't finished the maple syrup because I normally use maple syrup. As you know, I use the cheap maple syrup from the supermarket. The reason it's cheap is it's not very much of it is maple syrup. Normally you find about 40 to 50% is maple syrup, and what they've done is they've cut it with something else sweet so they can legally call it maple syrup flavored or whatever, but it's not actually maple syrup. But that makes it very cheap. It's only about £2 for a little tub, and I rarely finish a tub. Well, I don't finish a tub. I've still got last year's tub. Here's how much is left. Still loads. And that's what I've been using as my main sugar source since they were since I first caught the queen, and that was 4 years ago, or it will be 4 years in June. And as you can see from the pictures I show and the pictures I'm showing now, looking around their nests still, it's not done them any harm. It's not stunted them in any way. So I've never actually felt the need to buy any of these ant syrups that a lot of the ant retailers sell. But hey ho, I got this one for free, so let's try it out. So yeah, they hadn't finished their maple syrup from on Saturday morning, so I only gave them one. I gave them one feed on Saturday rather than the normal two that I give them, one in the morning and one in the evening. And then on Sunday, I just didn't bother. I thought, you know what, have a day off, girls, let's see. So they are a little bit hungry, but they're certainly not, they're not starving or anything. You know, you can look round the nest here and see workers that have got fully extended gasters. I'm not mistreating my ants. Please don't take it that way. So I put some in, and this is the reaction. To be honest, I'm stunned. Like I said, I've never bought this ant nectar stuff from any of these ant suppliers before, and because I thought I don't really need it, but they went absolutely crazy for this stuff. You're watching the pictures of me actually dropping it in. You saw me drop it in. You saw that live. I've cut to a few minutes later. You can see that absolutely swarming all over it. They're climbing over each other to get to it. Now I know they're a bit hungry, but they were going so mad for it. They polished it all off in the space of about 30 minutes. It was gone. So I left them a couple of hours, and then I thought, you know what, let's do another little test. Let's do another piece of greaseproof paper and line up both the ant nectar from Wakooshi and my traditional maple syrup that I've been using for 4 years, and see what the reaction to them both is and see if there's any difference. So here's that one going in. And what you'll see here in the pictures is yeah, they're still quite happy to drink the maple syrup. But there's a definite preference. I mean, they're going for them both, and once I'm doing this sound recording, it's another half an hour later, and both have all completely gone. So, but I can tell here from just watching them and how much more they're almost scrambling over the top of each other to get to the ant nectar, the FormiPure ant nectar, that they definitely prefer that. So yeah, there you go, everybody. It may well, if you want, almost a perfect sugar for your ants. I wouldn't recommend going out and buying it specially, because you'll end up paying postage and packing from whoever you buy it from. But if you're buying stuff anyway, I mean, it's $1.95 for this little bottle, which is less than I get for my maple syrup, which is about £2 from the supermarket. But still, it's not that much. And if you were ordering something anyway, you might as well throw a bottle in, and just to watch the reaction at least, because it is quite funny. So yes, my ants are giving a big thumbs up, massive endorsement to Wakooshi FormiPure Ant Nectar. Thank you for watching, everybody. Until next time, goodbye.